Hello. Hope you can hear me above all the noise and the traffic in Rio. Just about to hit the beach. But I thought I'd share some of the questions we had on our this morning's conference call with our mentoring clients. It was really cool talking from Rio to England. Everybody's different locations in England, and we're on the conference call. These guys were the online mentoring. I got booted off the call at one point, the joys of connection, and scrabbled to get back on. But isn't it cool? The joys of the internet and the joys of property. You don't need to be at the office. You don't need to be tied to your desk. You know, we're pretty lucky. So if you guys are working in property, then please proceed. So here's a really good question I got this morning, talking about, if I haven't got any finances in place, how can I make offers? Why would agents show me properties that I haven't got funds to buy? Isn't this wasting everybody's time? Really good question, because of course it's tricky at the beginning, isn't it? You got to get your funds in place, but also you've got to get the deals in place, and really you've got to be doing stuff in parallel. So my first question back, and we'll come into a quieter street just to finish off the call, my first question back was, how are you going to get the funds? Because clearly you can't be buying the property without funds. So my first response was, work on investors at the same time as you're working on sourcing. And I did a time and motion study when I did the beginnings of my property business, and I calculated that about 30% of my time was spent on raising private finance, maybe about 30, oh look at this, they're building behind us. Brazilian style. 30% of my time was based on raising private finance, roughly 30% of my time was on sourcing, and then the rest of the time was kind of admin, building the business, you know, just this, you know, guff that happens with a business that you've got to get on with. So I was talking about, let's have you do both at the same time, run in parallel a sourcing kind of activity, because of course if you're new, that allows you to actually talk with your investors and say, well, I saw this deal today, I saw that deal today, you know, if I had the funds, then this is what I do with it. So at least that gives you some level of credibility. You know, if you're doing 30 viewings every single week, you're doing a heck of a lot more than most people, so you're going to have really good conversations with your investors, and then work at the same time on your investors, because of course you can't be buying property without any funds. In a perfect world, you'd get your investors first, but the reality is, probably like most human beings, it feels more comfortable and easier to touch the properties and source the properties first. So just like me, you're probably going to be scrabbling to get your funders after you found your first deal. That's exactly how I was too. I don't advise it, you know, it gave me many sleepless nights, but it was definitely how I was. And then what I always did was, when I sourced from estate agents, I put offers in writing. So I offered giving my lawyer's details. I used to regularly, my friend John, he never once invested with me or lent me any money or anything like that, but he was a really nice friend. And he used to regularly lend me his bank account. He had a six-figure sum in his bank account, and he used to give me screenshots, and so I used to send those screenshots in. I made it very clear with these estate agents that these were not my funds, but these were investor funds, and I was buying with investors. I didn't actually say I was buying with those funds, because obviously that wouldn't have been true, and I don't tell lies, but I just associated myself with those funds. Now, it doesn't mean to say that I was going to get that property, but what it did mean was that I was going to move up, if you like, in the estate agent's mind, as being front of mind. You know, she offers professionally, here's her lawyer, and she does have access to funds. So maybe they didn't give me that one, but maybe they gave me the one after, or the one after, or the one after. So I hope that's helpful. I want you to run a fundraising campaign and a sourcing campaign at the same time, because it's chicken and egg, isn't it? It's going to feel a bit nerve-wracking, but this stuff works. Can't obviously give you legal advice or financial advice. This is just the benefit of my experience. Speak soon. Bye.